Hello, hi. So after a very long time, I just finished recording Acts 28th chapter. It's taken a lot of time, but finishing Acts, it's like the New Testament is gonna end. It's gonna end. So trying to upload that one, but I want to share something. So I was recollecting the day, when two of my teachers, when I was in fifth, yeah, very small. So at that time, so we were all telling our names. So the one sir asked, do you know what your name means? So what does Mona Lisa means? I said it's a painting. Then so I came to know, what's the special feature of that painting? So I really don't know what it is actually. I just know it's a very beautiful painting. So the Leonardo da Vinci, when he painted whatever he painted, especially Mona Lisa, the subtle hues, techniques, the layers, it's all amazing, once we notice it. So the painting, there's and he's also known for perception. The eye of Mona Lisa is it's moving. It would look at the audience. So it's like when the person is moving, it's as if the eye is following the person. And it's the most fascinating or the special feature of that painting is that the smile is enigmatic. It's very much mysterious. So one cannot identify whether the smile is turning from joy to sorrow or whether it is turning from sorrow to joy. So it's a mystery. So that's the fascinating feature of the painting. And the work of human hands, we don't know whether it's gonna end up in a mess. Do you bring in, you know uh, kind of mess it up and it's all going good. You're kind of angry, you say something and you want to say sorry, or you just, make the moment as a failure. Maybe it happens. The work of human beings, it's always a mystery. We don't know. But the work of the Lord, it's not mystery. It's still fascinating. It's much more fascinating, but it's definitely gonna end in joy. Psalms 107, the beginning of the fifth part of Psalms, it's parallel to the book of Deuteronomy. So it talks about the loving kindness of the Lord. So, what is the loving kindness of God? The love there, if you can notice, the loving kindness of the Lord is the discipline. The people do something and they cry out. The Lord sends something to discipline them, and they cry out, and the Lord delivers out of all their distress, and He gives them the solution. They were wandering in the wilderness, the Lord led them in the straight path. They were asking for food. The Lord gave them food. They were they got sickness as a punishment. The Lord sent His word and healed them. And there was uh, a tempestuous, would we say that, very much terrible storm, and the Lord calmed. He stilled the storm, and every time people cried out, the Lord was so merciful. He was full of loving kindness that He delivered them. And so that the psalmist says, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. For He is good. So that's the goodness of the Lord. You may think this, you got something to be, sorrowful, you're downhearted, and there is nothing to be lighthearted, to be joyful now. But the loving kindness of the Lord is waiting for you to cry out to Him, for you to change your ways, for you to look at Him and how He is gonna make it all good, the very best, the very, very best. Maybe you've tried everything. You said sorry to the Lord and you were telling sorry to the people, and it's like a mystery right now. But the Lord is after your heart. He desires mercy and compassion rather than sacrifices, like rather than judgment or critical spirit. He longs to show compassion and mercy. So that's why when you tend to go in a negative spirit or a critical spirit, your heart grieves, your conscience pricks, because the Lord desires compassion. The same God is compassionate towards you. You might have messed up something over and over, but the Lord is all so kind, so good. He's making your life better, and it's going to be the best. God bless.